Good morning. Good morning out there. They turned the lights down and now I can't see any of you, so. Good morning and welcome. I am Mary Pastine, faculty president, and before we start the program, I would like to take a few moments to thank some people and make some introductions. I would ask you to please hold your applause to the end. First, our thanks to the marketing and communication team and University Advancement for the program that played as you entered the hall. Thanks to CSUN's pep band, our men's soccer team, women's tennis, and women's basketball teams, and the volunteers that greeted you that were made up of the university staff for their warm welcome this morning. And our thanks to the staff of the Soraya for their support and efforts to make today's event a success. Seated in the two front rows are the members of the cabinet and extended cabinet, which include new additions to the team, all of whom are listed in your program. Mary Beth Walker, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. Okay, I'm going to try and get this right. Hussam Tutanji, did I get that right? Dean of the College of Engineering and Computer Science. Barrett Morris, Director of Equity and Diversity and Title IX Coordinator. Amy Levin, Assistant Vice President for Graduate Studies. Gregory Murphy, Chief of Police. And Rafael De La Rosa, Interim Director of Government and Community Relations. I'm also pleased to recognize and welcome the newest members of our campus community who are listed by name in your program. This includes 20 new tenure-track faculty members, woohoo, faculty, 70 faculty members newly tenured and/or promoted, congratulations, 273 permanent full-time staff who have joined CSUN and its auxiliaries. That's the Associated Students, the University Student Union, and the University Corporation in the past year who have taken on new roles. Also here this morning are our new faculty, including new lecturers, who are attending this morning as part of the New Faculty Foundation's orientation program with Dr. Whitney Scott, Director of Faculty Development. And listed in the program for the first time are all 59 of the university's department chairs who all play an important leadership role on our campus. I now invite all of you in these groups to please stand and receive a warm Matador welcome and congratulations. You all join a talented team of more than 4,000 faculty and staff employees at CSUN, and we certainly do welcome you. We also wish to recognize some additional special guests who are attending this morning. Seated to my right in the front are the honored faculty award recipients recognized this past spring, and the staff who received presidential and merit awards at the staff recognition and awards ceremony in June. Their names are listed in the program. Also, we have joining us today are members of the 2017-18 cohort of the CSUN Shine From Within program. Seated behind the extended cabinet here are members of the Heritage Society, made up of CSUN alumni and friends who have made the university part of their estate plans, and the President's Associates are donors who give $1,000 or more annually to the university, and lifetime members of the Alumni Association. Also seated with them are members of the CSUN Foundation Board and the CSUN Alumni Board. Thank you for joining us today, and I ask all of our special guests to please rise and accept our appreciation and congratulations. I'd like to remind everybody before we start that immediately following the conclusion of the President's remarks, we invite you all to proceed to the main lobby for food and refreshments, where Dr. Harrison will join us as well. With that, I would like to now introduce you to this year's Associated Students President, Dianne Vicente, for her greetings to the campus community.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for the introduction. I will be serving as your new Associate Students President for the incoming year, 2019-2020. This is a dream come true, and I still can't believe it. I was born in Mexico City. I attended school there until 5th grade, when my family decided to pack up their bags and leave to the land of opportunity. We were confused and we were scared about what awaited us. We were moving to a land where any opportunity can come to you as long as you work hard for it. I suffered a lot of culture shock, and I was determined to learn the language and get caught up as soon as I could. It took me 2 years to learn English at a proficient level, but it only took me 1 to get involved in student government. And I have not left since then. I've been involved in student government since middle school. I fell in love with the work that I did, being part of a team that would dedicate time without pay, without benefits, without anything else other than seeing their ideas blossom into a reality. I fell in love with the difference that one student could make if they really dedicated all of their time and passion into it. This position is different. This time it's different. Being president of this organization, there are a lot of benefits. There is a team, there are requirements and work that must get done. The biggest thing that differs is that there is no immediate result. During my time of training, someone said to me, "You are planting the seed for the shade that you will never get to enjoy." We are doing the work for the students that we might never ever get to meet, but we still do it and we dedicate our 100% to it, and that in itself is rewarding. During my time at CSUN, I've had the pleasure of attending Camp Matador and being part of various clubs and organizations. CSUN was the school that gave me an opportunity. When every other school looked at my academic background and asked for me to pay international student fees, CSUN understood that my past was different. I've seen the change that our associate students make for us. 4 days at Camp Matador will determine who's running those same programs 4 years later. One member of the elections committee years ago for associate students was determined to get involved, and President Alexanian looked at her and said that she was going to be able to do so. He gave her her first push, and now here I am. I am excited and I am thankful every day when I wake into this job. This is my passion. Thank you, CSUN, for giving me a home. Thank you, staff, for having open doors. Thank you, faculty, for pushing us every day to do more than what we're asked for. And thank you to my wonderful team at Associated Students. Thank you all.
Thank you, Diana, for your remarks. So we can get to the food a little quicker. Without further ado, didn't have breakfast this morning. Sorry. I would like to welcome Dr. Dianne Harrison, CSUN President, to the podium for this year's Welcome Back address.
Good morning. We don't have that much food. Anyway, remind me not to follow Diana anymore. Thank you, Mary Pat and Diana, for your remarks, and welcome back, everybody. Pardon me, I have to sit on a stool today. Okay. All right, we're good. I had some minor surgery earlier in the summer, and I'm not quite back with it, but it's coming. So first off, I have to acknowledge my husband, John Wujak, who is here this morning and who is a great supporter. Thank you for everything. Before we continue, please let us take a few moments to remember our 10 colleagues who passed away this last year, who are listed on the slide on screen. Please join me for a moment of silence to honor their memories and their contributions to the university. Thank you. I want to welcome all of our faculty, our staff and administrators and students and guests who are here this morning to the start of this academic year, another year of opportunity for us and another year filled with promise. We will be welcoming 12,047 new students this fall and 26,381 students who will be returning to us, all of whom will be looking for the inspiration, for the support to help them achieve their educational goals. It is important work that we do together, and I am grateful to all of you for the tremendous work that you do for our students and their success. You provide life-changing opportunities to them and to their families and the entire region. I know how committed each of you are to this university and to our students. Whether you are a tenured professor, a lecturer, a member of our physical plant management staff, or an analyst in an office, I know that you are motivated to come to work every day for something greater. You are motivated to see our students succeed. And that is why I want to begin talking this morning about our common purpose, our students. Students are the reason we exist. The passion, the intelligence, the drive of our students never ceases to amaze me and to inspire me. I know you feel that way too. It is what unifies us and provides the mission we pursue each and every day. I see the commitment to our students in every corner of this campus. Put simply, we all have an important role in student success and the future of this university. The important work being done around Matador Rising and GI 2025 is vital. We are working across the university to increase the number of first-time freshmen who graduate in 4 and hopefully not more than 6 years. Also, the number of transfer students who graduate in 2 and not more than 4 years, and our efforts are working. The first-time freshman 6-year graduation rate has increased to 54% for the fall 2012 cohort, which is up from 46.8% for the fall 28 cohort. Among transfer students, the 4-year graduation rate increased to 76.1% with the fall 2014 cohort, up from 73.9% for the fall 2010 cohort. We have more work to do, no question. But if we can keep these trends going, we will graduate more students from CSUN. Student success initiatives are not a one-size-fits-all, but we've undertaken a number of initiatives that are showing positive results. In fall 18 and spring 19, we targeted a number of lower division, high, what we call DFU rates, or basically classes that fail a lot of students, for an early alert program through our online advising platform. Faculty from political science, economics, anthropology, chemistry, and math all used the system to communicate with their students very early in the semester, at week 2, in the middle of the term, and also toward the end of the term. All students got an update on their status in the class. If a student was showing signs of disengagement or had worrying grades and assignments, the graduation and retention specialist in their college was notified, and that advisor in turn reached out to the student to see if they could help them get things back on track. The student was also invited by the faculty member to check in. The early intervention made a big difference in several of the classes, The overall GPA of the course went up, the DFU or failure rate went down, and the equity gap in grades was reduced or eliminated. Most notably, students who received early alerts in week 2 received significantly higher average course grades than students who were alerted later. A 2.8 average course grade for those who received alerts in the first few weeks compared to 1.14 average course grade for students who received alerts in the 3rd month. Clearly, it makes a difference. For some of our students, academic achievement is made nearly impossible by hunger and homelessness. I am grateful for the work of Student Affairs and CSUN with a Heart initiative, an online hub with valuable resources to strengthen the welfare of all students. The CSUN Food Pantry, just one aspect of this initiative, donated more than 23,000 pounds of food last year, a huge 38% increase over the previous year. I hope that you will pick up information about CSUN with the Heart during the reception this morning. We've made progress in closing the graduation equity gaps with our transfer students especially. The most recent 4-year graduation rate for transfers had a less than 2 percentage point gap between better served and traditionally underserved students. We can close that gap by graduating 37 more students from traditionally underserved backgrounds within 4 years. For our 2-year rate for transfer students, we did not have a gap. In fact, we have a small reverse gap, minus 2.4 percentage points. Our freshman equity gaps still need attention, however. We had a 12.8 percentage point gap in our 6-year freshman graduation rate and a 7.6 percentage gap in our 4-year freshman graduation rate. We have to remedy this. In our focus on freshmen, CSUN made major changes in the approach to GE math. New pre-GE credit courses were developed to prepare students in most majors, replacing non-credit remedial courses. Passage rate for the new pre-GE math courses in the fall of 18 were slightly higher than the old non-credit developmental math courses they replaced. But importantly, these students now earn 5 units applicable toward their degree, whereas units from the old courses were not applicable. We also launched a direct-to-GE math pilot for students in non-STEM, non-statistic pathways and majors in fall of 18. Some students in the colleges of Arts, Media and Communication and Humanities were offered a GE Math Concepts course option, or Math 131, Mathematical Ideas, with a supplemental instruction course. These students who would have otherwise been placed in non-GE Math 196 QR, the passage rate for these students was about the same as for GE Ready students, and importantly, much better than outcomes in the non-GE math course that they were originally assigned to take. As of this fall, any student coming into a non-STEM, non-statistics pathway will be placed in this Math 131, with or without supplemental instruction. These are huge achievements, and I want to extend a huge shout out to our math department and Robbie, and with leadership as the department chair, and all of the math faculty for their hard work. Thank you all so much for your efforts. This summer, we opened the Matador Advising Hub to serve most of our incoming freshmen. The EOP freshmen will continue to go to the EOP satellites. This team is providing comprehensive, centralized advisement. The advisors in the hub come from across the campus and have been working closely with the college advisors to get our new students on the right path. Centralized advising is a best practice at peer institutions that has been successful in increasing retention, reducing equity gaps, and improving time to graduation. The campus implemented other initiatives to build engagement, increase retention, and reduce time to graduation. Students are increasing their average unit loads, and our campus data mirrors the national data on the effects of unit load and student outcomes. Now listen closely, please. Our first-generation students who enrolled in 30 or more units in their first year actually had stronger academic outcomes than those first-generation students who took less than 30 units, and equivalent to that of continuing generation students who took less than 30 units. Both groups achieved a boost in their GPA of about 0.4 grade points. Both groups saw retention in the third semester rise by about 11 percentage points. And perhaps most excitedly to me, both groups experienced a 6-year graduation boost of between 13 and 15 percentage points. Our students, even those academically at risk, have done better taking more units. While we have made progress, clearly, there is more work to be done. Our retention rates for first-time freshmen seem to have plateaued in the low 80% range. We will not meet our goal of 66% 6-year graduation rate if we cannot retain more students. The incoming freshman class is the first class in the 6-year class for the GI 2025. And what that means is this is the year, this is the cohort class that will count when we're being evaluated against our target goals, our graduation goals. Every one of our students matters, of course, but every freshman that we can retain from this year's class is especially critical for us. We've been ramping up for the last several years for this moment. Our new provost and vice president for academic affairs, Mary Beth Walker, has a wealth of experience implementing high-impact practices and diminishing opportunity gaps, and she is going to bring vital leadership to our efforts. Whether we're talking about we, myself, Dr. Walker, or the CSU, we're not asking to push our students through at an accelerated pace for no reason. We are asking, rather, that all of us come together with a common purpose to accelerate our efforts to remove barriers, to eliminate opportunity gaps, and provide opportunity for those who want to graduate, who want the opportunity to move on. All students need to understand their path to graduation and the benefits of completing 15 units a semester or 30 a year, and they should make their own decisions armed with that knowledge. We have students who are yearning to participate in high-impact practices, to get involved in community service and volunteerism, to work in internships, to study abroad, to get the classes they need to graduate, to engage in modern teaching styles. But for some, it is not happening. Let me frame it this way. Right now, 1 out of every 5 students we admit, we are leaving behind. And that is unacceptable to us. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly." We need to focus on what is working and prioritize and align our efforts to push harder in these areas. We need to stop doing what isn't working. We all share in CSUN's destiny, and it will be through our mutual efforts that the university moves forward. Last year was a challenging year on many fronts, and I recognize that for some, significant uncertainty remains. The executive orders created pockets of disquiet on campus, putting strain on each of us in our relationships. But to be successful, that is, To serve the best interests of our students, we must now move forward with trust in each other, transparency, and inclusion. We must not allow ourselves to be divided as a campus. We are part of the CSU mission and part of a system. Much, including executive orders, is beyond our control. Our relationships, however, are within our control. United in our belief in the transformative power of education, let us each be mindful of how we treat one another and especially how we treat our students. Our students deserve our focus and attention on the classroom, on removing barriers, and on helping them receive an excellent education and graduating. We all care deeply about our students and about their success. We all play a vital role in working together in the best interests of our students. We can and we must be successful. We have done it before, and we will continue to find the CSUN way and the CSUN path, and we will do it together. The values that make CSUN unique will always be the foundation of what we do. Our commitment to ethnic studies programs is core to what we do. And be assured that no one is dismantling or decimating our ethnic studies programs. In fact, I'm happy to report that registration to date for this fall term, the first official start of the revised GE curriculum, shows no difference in enrollments in ethnic studies courses from the past. No difference. Tensions on our campus partly reflect the country's deepening and widening political and social divides. But the mistake is to assume that our campus, our faculty, students, and administrators are divided. That is not the case and should not be the case. We can disagree over curricular matters, over legislative matters, but we do not turn that disagreement into hatred or personal attacks. In the words of Michelle Obama, when the real enemies of our students and higher education, I would add, go low, we go high. This past June, Chancellor Timothy White issued a statement on a recent report from the California State Auditor on CSU outside accounts and parking programs at 4 individual campuses. Northridge was not included. The primary focus of the report was CSU's $1.5 billion operating reserve, $72 million of which is attributed to CSUN. The report mischaracterized these funds as surplus revenues. In fact, these are one-time funds designated for specific purposes, as has been reported previously by the Chancellor's office. CSUN's $72 million operating reserve will cover contractual obligations, student financial aid reserve, campus quality fee balances, deferred maintenance reserve, graduation initiative 2025 funds allocated toward our multi-year student success plan, and reserves dedicated for economic uncertainties, such as potential state or system budget impacts, unforeseen expenses, and campus emergencies, and capital projects, including the Sierra Annex and the renovation of Sierra Hall. All told, the $72 million reserve for CSUN equates to just 16% of our 18-19 general operating fund budget. And that represents less than 2 months of operating expenses. Such reserve funds are like a family savings account. They build up gradually over time. They're used to cover one-time necessary expenses or to protect against uncertainties. Indeed, with 5 to 6 months being the ideal amount of reserves that you want to have versus our 2 months, our savings is not robust right now. As always, CSUN will continue to be an efficient steward of our financial resources and will continue to operate in a transparent manner, providing information about our financial operations in presentations and online. Last year, in addition to everything else, we also faced multiple threats of violence, specifically aimed at our African American and Jewish communities. Tragedies impacting innocent lives occurs all too frequently across our nation, as we just witnessed in Dayton and El Paso, and closer to home recently as in Thousand Oaks. I am grateful that CSUN is fortunate to have an extremely capable police services now under the fantastic leadership of Chief Greg Murphy. But please rest assured that the safety of all of you and all of our students is our top priority. At every turn and at every small detail, Chief Murphy reviews all information again in totality to determine the best course of action. In both instances last year, federal authorities were consulted. To preserve the integrity of the investigation, it is often necessary to limit the disclosure of specific evidentiary aspects of an incident. However, through collaboration with local and federal experts in the field of threat and behavioral analysis, rest assured that at any point during an investigation, the analysis suggests that your safety is at risk, the appropriate steps will be taken, and you will be provided the information for your awareness. Putting aside the criminal aspects of these situations, we must unite and not tolerate words of hate or threats against any of our colleagues. Under the leadership of our Chief Diversity Officer, Natalie Mason-Kinsey, and the Commission on Diversity and Inclusion, we are launching the Stop Hate Together campaign this fall. Awareness and a commitment from everyone to report any threats to CSUN police immediately will help us mitigate and eliminate these truly despicable and cowardly acts. I hope you will watch for this campaign, and I hope you all will participate. While we all hope for a year that is smooth and successful, there are potential challenges ahead of us. Let me remind you that CSUN is one of the most diverse universities in the nation and has been recognized for its diverse learning environment by the Wall Street Journal. We are committed to serving the needs of students from all over the world. We take pride in our vibrant, inclusive, and international campus, and we must preserve this environment and support all of our students. All 23 CSU campuses, Chancellor White, and the Board of Trustees have joined together to defend our undocumented students, undocumented employees, and their families by standing in opposition to all efforts of intimidation, unfair investigation, or deportation without due process. Please remember, any and all inquiries from federal, state, or local officials received on campus regarding immigration status should be immediately referred to CSUN's Department of Police Services. They will work with the on-site officials and will coordinate with the CSU Office of General Counsel to provide guidance, references, and resources as available. All resources are available for your reference online and through our Dream Center. On the topic of inclusion, I'd also like to share that our Students of Color Coalition have brought concerns to my attention relative to Delmar Oviatt. The students are concerned that he was not supportive of the importance of diversity and inclusion on this campus, and therefore they question the appropriateness of his name on our library. These are important questions, and so I will be convening an advisory committee under Vice President William Watkins' leadership, and will include students, faculty, staff, administrators, alumni, and members of our community this fall to review this issue further. You'll be hearing more about this, but I ask for your openness to learn more about our history and what might be the best course of action in 2019 and 2020. Despite our challenges, there were plenty of achievements. I want to take one moment to thank Stella Theodulou for her leadership, her strong leadership this past year as our interim provost. Thank you, Stella. CSUN is at its best when we all pull together for the good of our students and the university. In 2018, CSUN was named by the Association of Public and Land-Grant Universities as an Innovation and Economic Prosperity University. Institutions that earn this designation are recognized for their efforts to promote innovation and entrepreneurship, excellence in technology transfer, leadership and talent and workforce development, and establishing strong government, university, and industry partnerships. It was announced 2 months ago that we are again a finalist for another APLU designation. This past February, we celebrated the 50th anniversary of Africana Studies with a black tie reception honoring, don't they look beautiful? Yes. With a black tie reception honoring Black culture and the department's deep history. The reception capped a month of events led by Department Chair Teresa White and others that brought guest speakers and performances to campus during Black History Month. It is exciting to note that EOP, Chicano Studies, and Asian American Studies celebrations are all in front of us this coming year. Thanks to the hard work and dedication of Austin Erickson, Erica Woldman, and many others, CSUN continues to be one of the leaders in sustainability in the CSU system and nationally. And we expect this trend to continue with the addition of Dr. Natalie Zappia, the new director of the Institute for Sustainability. In the spring, the Association for the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education awarded CSUN its 3rd gold rating in its Sustainability Tracking Assessment and Rating System, or STARS. We earned our 1st gold in 2016. ASHE also named CSUN a top performer in diversity and affordability. The Soraya announced that it will feature the Violins of Hope concert series to educate audiences about the Holocaust through music and culture, using a collection of violins, violas, and cellos rescued from the Holocaust. Leading up to the Violins of Hope program, the Soraya will host world-renowned violinists Isak Perlman and Pinchas Zuckerman. That's very exciting. Truly, our university has become a center of diverse world-class culture in the San Fernando Valley, and we are very proud to host these performances. Alumni and friends are investing in CSUN like never before. We've set another new record with 18,000 donors this past year, and total contributions topped 20 million. This momentum has led us to proceed with plans for CSUN's first ever comprehensive campaign. Even though we are in the early stages of planning, we have already raised nearly $100 million in commitments to support student success, faculty, and programs across campus. I want to give a huge shout out to University Advancement for all of their efforts. Thank you. Campus spirit and support of our student activities also broke records. The Big Show sold more than 8,000 tickets and had one of the smoothest shows in history. I won't say any more. It was very successful. No pressure, Diana. But I will say, students also turned out in record numbers for athletics. as the campaign to pack the Matadome resulted in 500 more tickets sold for the first men's basketball game than the previous year. We should all take pride in and celebrate the successes of our colleagues. Maddox Peening and John Wujak. No, wait, I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. That's my husband and my grandson. Maddox is 2.5, and we have another one on the way. Yay. Okay, so let's celebrate our real colleagues here. Bill Poder will be receiving $19 million over the next 5 years in renewed grants from the NIH to continue work toward diversifying the biomedical research workforce of the future. Overall, this amounts to $41 million in support over 10 years, with more than 500 students receiving intense research training and mentoring from over 100 faculty at CSUN. Congratulations to Dr. Chris Kachikian, Dr. Carrie Sadamore, and Dr. Gabby Shaviri, Dr. Patty Kwan, and everyone associated with this tremendous work. Yes. Dr. Miao Shang Miao, Chemistry, received an NSF Career Award. These are 5-year grants awarded in support of early career faculty who have potential to serve as academic role models in research and education and to lead advances in the mission of the organization. This is such a great honor for both Dr. Miao and CSUN. Dr. Stevie Ruiz, Chicano Studies, received a grant from California Humanities, a partner of the National Endowment for the Humanities, to develop and lead a series of workshops for young people across Los Angeles on the topic of environmental justice. Dr. Virginia Nguyen, Department of Child and Adolescent Development, determined that discrimination has impacts on health and substance abuse within families. Her research was covered in U.S. News and World Report and published in the Journal of Health Psychology. Cristina de la Vega, Associate Vice President for Human Resources, received the HR Professional of the Year Award from the San Fernando Valley Business Journal at the annual Chief Financial Officer and Human Resource Awards ceremony in June. Dr. Newt Tan Ho, Department of Mechanical Engineering, announced that NASA and the Department of Defense have awarded grants to establish at CSUN the NASA Autonomy Research Center for STEM. This will be a multidisciplinary center with participation from 6 colleges: engineering and computer science, social and behavioral sciences, business and economics, arts, media and communication, science and math, and humanities. How exciting is that? Let us rally around our colleagues' achievements. When one of us succeeds, we all succeed and benefit. These accomplishments can include grants, awards, publications, or any other recognition. The recognition, or grant, or publication ultimately supports our students. With so much to celebrate, now's the time to look to each other and to ourselves to build a stronger community. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So we are the links. We each need to be strong to be our best selves for our students. I would give you the same advice I give at all of the freshman orientations that I have attended, and it is take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Take advantage of our SRC. Take walks on our beautiful campus, or attend the meditation sessions offered by the Institute for Community Health and Well-Being. I also strongly encourage everyone to participate in learning, and that includes understanding our data, our classroom results, or participating in professional development nationally or in your discipline, are all of those fantastic programs offered by our HR department here. If you are faculty, I would encourage you to explore the CSU dashboards. They're incredibly helpful. There's robust and rich data about CSUN on that dashboard. Consider attending a conference on student success. Read the higher education literature about what works. There's always more to learn. And every day, we get more information and more data. Participating also reinforces that we are a community of learners as well as educators, and reinforces us. It reminds us of what we already know and need to integrate into our work. I'm also pleased to add that our CSUN mobile app will now offer employee resources that you previously accessed only through the CSUN portal, such as mobile links to enter the time that you worked, to apply for a fee waiver, or to engage in training. Ask Maddie is also now available on the mobile app as well. Adapting these technologies, like everything else, to reach their audiences is critically important work. Thank you, Hillary and IT and all of your staff, for all of that work. Thank you. Let me add that making the university accessible to everyone is of primary concern. The Accessible Technology Initiative is a campus-wide effort, and it is a responsibility for all of us, and its success goes well beyond IT. The urgent need for accessibility is unfortunately invisible to some of us until you or someone you know needs accessible resources. We cannot overlook these needs. Speaking of the campus and our facilities, I'm pleased to say that the hotel and restaurant and conference center projects are on track. We anticipate the groundbreaking of a 4-story Hilton Garden Inn to take place in June of 2020. Expected to open in fall of 2021, this exciting hotel project will feature 150 rooms, conference meeting space, and select food and beverage offerings. We also anticipate breaking ground this November on the restaurant and conference center. Sited at the old bookstore annex within the campus store complex, the restaurant and conference center will open fall of 2020 and will include both a multi-purpose room that can seat 250 guests and a restaurant that will serve lunch and dinner. Neither of these projects will use campus state operating funds or student fees, and we expect the projects will strengthen our recreation and tourism management program. As we build on our strengths, let us keep scanning our horizon. We must be future ready for our students and for our communities. This past April, CSUN held its first eProcess Plus showcase to highlight a new campus-wide initiative to digitally transform processes for our students, our faculty, and staff. The initiative leverages applications such as OnBase, MyCSUN Box, Adobe Sign, Solar, and others to create user-friendly, efficient online processes. Our campus is truly stepping into the digital age. There are many proverbial spinning plates for us, for each of us, but as I shared when I began my remarks, we provide life-changing opportunity to our students and their families. Human knowledge is evolving daily, probably hourly in some cases, and we need to equip our students to learn and to contribute to our futures. Technology is expected to advance as far in the next 10 years as it had in the last 30, according to some experts. Surely this will prove a challenge to our status quo as individuals, and it will necessitate that our programs evolve as well. We must teach our students to be learners in an age when there is an infinite array of information available. They must become innovators and entrepreneurs. and it is our job to help them acquire the necessary skills to advance in this ever-changing world and the world of work. Indeed, CSUN students will create new ways to work and to solve problems, to be contributing global citizens. And as humanity becomes increasingly technologically dependent, universities will lead the way in nurturing all that is uniquely human, teaching students to value our similarities and our differences as humans, to show empathy to others, to be creative, and perhaps to even communicate more effectively than we do as a society today. We will be, in the words of Joseph Aoun, robot-proof. No pressure, right? I hope that you are energized by what lies ahead. I know I am. Every moment is an opportunity to come together as a community unified by our mission of student success. Together, we can do all of this and more. Before I end, I'd like to share our year in review video with you. Let's celebrate the good of last year and lean in to 2019, 2020 with all of our might. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us this morning for the President's Welcome Address. We now invite everyone to proceed to the main lobby to mingle, meet friends, make new ones, and enjoy the food and refreshments. Thank you so much.